Alright, hello again everybody. So recently, over the last month or so, we've been doing live videos of positive Demodex mite test results here from our headquarters in Melbourne, Australia. Because Demodex is obviously our main focus and it's such an, I guess, people don't know about it essentially, so they're really happy not only to have answers which we provide, but also visual evidence of these microscopic parasites. So today we had a lady come in for a test. She wasn't old, maybe I would say in her 20s. So it's a common misconception based on outdated evidence that Demodex mites are only or highly prevalent in the older population only. And yes, of course, the older population will have more because as we get older, our immune systems most of the time are lowered naturally. But look, young people can also suffer high Demodex populations, because Demodex feed off sebum, which is oil. So if you can imagine a lot of younger people, especially going through puberty with all of those hormones and oils pumping, it's like a delicious breeding ground for Demodex mites. So this lady had quite a fair amount of acne on her cheeks and jawline, and this test, we only did one sample, I think, and we found Demodex straight away. So this is what you can see here. You can see, sorry, I'm just getting it in focus. It's a female follicle. So let me get my handy dandy pointer. So you can see there's two mouth parts here. So this is how they actually consume the oils from your skin. They're so tiny, so it's quite hard to focus on all of them at once. And you can see it's an adult because it has 8 legs, so 4 on each side. And I hope you can see it on the camera, but the legs are actually moving around. So look, even though these parasites are microscopic, which means they're obviously quite small, they do move quite fast, so 8 to 16 centimeters per hour. So you can imagine at nighttime, a lot of people, they experience like itching, crawling sensations. You don't necessarily have to experience that, but that is something that most people do have in common. So sometimes it makes people itch just hearing about it, but look, it's really important information. So you can see those legs moving around. So at night time, when they're entering and exiting hair follicles, those little legs are scraping over your skin. And for those of you that do have a higher population density, obviously there's more mites to feel those legs moving. So you can tell it's a female. Let me just focus on the body. See, the body is opaque. She just doesn't want to do it for me. So basically the body is full of like consumed oil, feces and eggs. I'll have a look for more in the sample in a second and see if we can find any males, but generally the males are truly semi-transparent, so you can essentially just see the outline. So if anyone has any questions for me, feel free to type them out. Look, Ungex, we do offer chat over our internet, over our website, we chat over the phone, we chat over Facebook. We're available anywhere, but now is a really great opportunity to get some live answers. If not, I'll just keep rabbiting on, but feel free to leave comments and I'll try and respond as best I can. So Demodex, generally everybody has them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move out. So I'm just going to rearrange here. You can see, so this is the microscope here, and we're looking at the camera on the monitor. So I don't want to hurt your eyes with the light too much, but you can see this is the actual sample under this slide. So like Demodex are tiny. Sometimes I just like to refresh people. So I'm just going to place you back down and adjust the microscope, and we'll keep looking. So I've zoomed out, and that's what that same Demodex mite looks like. And see this little dot here, if we zoom in, so that's actually a tiny little mite. So that one's quite hard to focus on, but you can see they're all different shapes and sizes. So there's two main species that live on humans. There's the Demodex follicle, which is this one here. So they tend to be longer and sort of cigar shaped. So they live under the hair follicles themselves. And there's the Demodex brevis, which are sort of short and stumpy. And they actually live in the oil glands themselves. So there's not a whole lot of difference between them. Most people tend to have both, although the brevis we see not as frequently on the test, to be honest, because they don't come out from under the oil glands as much for us to catch onto the microscope. But look, it doesn't mean they're not there. So when we take a sample of a client, that's the same guy we saw before, we generally ask them not to wash their scalp or their face. Oh, here we go, we have another one. So this one's on its side. I'll zoom in. Because mites generally come up during the night, because they try and avoid sunlight, which has the ultraviolet in it. In the daytime, they're usually tucked up under the skin. So when we take a sample, which is basically a scraping of oils from a client, we really need those oils built up over a few days ideally, to catch these guys on the surface. Otherwise they're tucked too far under the skin and we can't. Oh look, he just did a turn for us. This mite's very obliging. It's actually a girl. Again, she's got a full body full of like feces and eggs, ready to start the new generation. So this is also a follicle, so you can see she's quite active. I hope you can, my reflection isn't too much. Again, if you have any questions, please don't be shy to type them. Let me know I'm talking to someone and not just myself. So you can imagine, for anyone who gets itchy scalp, itchy body, maybe you don't think about it, or maybe it drives you crazy. These guys in large numbers are a lot of the time quite heavily linked. So basically, everybody has some mites on them because they're transferred through physical contact and sharing of personal care items like pillowcases, towels, like physical contact, like kissing someone hello on the cheek. It's really hard not to have some transfer of Demodex mites, especially in adults. So children, they don't seem to be so much of an issue unless there is serious health problems, and that's because Demodex feed off sebums and oils and nutrients, and children pre-puberty don't really offer such a great buffet for them. So it's us adults that usually it's a massive cause of skin problems. So like everybody has some mites, but normal people who don't suffer from issues relating to them usually have a lower population density. So these guys live under your hair follicles and in your oil glands. And if you've only got a few spread over your whole body, there's really, you're not going to notice them, essentially. It's never too late for prevention, because one of our favorite sayings at Ungex is prevention is better than cure. But usually people who are suffering from Demodex related issues such as rosacea, acne like this lady we took the sample of, dandruff, eczema, hair loss, thinning, there's a huge amount, even some aging skin, like enlarged pores. There's really a lot of ways these guys can affect your skin, but usually it's in larger population densities. So instead of having a few mites spread over your entire body, some people can have 25 plus just in one hair follicle alone. So if you can imagine 25 of these guys under just one hair follicle, so hair follicles are over your whole body, not just in your head, so they can obviously affect your face and body as well. So 25 plus of these guys moving in and out of the follicles, eating the oils, laying eggs, reproducing, their whole life cycle. It's a lot of your body's natural resources, so things like oils, nutrients, they're really eating quite a lot of that, and your skin or your hair can suffer. It can become malnourished. When they die, they liquefy under the skin, so that can spread any bacteria they've picked up from the surface, from their late night walks, or their feces or their oil. Basically that, it liquefies under the skin. So a lot of people can react with acne, rosacea, like honestly, there's so many symptoms. So if you are suffering from any skin problems and you've tried everything, it's probably time to look into Demodex mites. We're happy to give advice on a case-by-case basis because everybody is different. But people with higher population densities, it's really important to actually treat mites and not just the symptoms. So for example, if you do have, say, acne and dry skin, because a lot of people who have a high population of mites do have dry skin because the mites are actually eating all those extra oils. So I'm sure you've tried like every product that you can, oils, moisturizers, treatments, and it's probably not that those products aren't great and they don't do what they say, but because you have a high population of Demodex under your skin, when you put those products on, especially at night time, those Demodex are actually eating all the oils and nutrients from that product before it can get to where it needs to go. So one of our metaphors is it's like pests in the garden. You might have heard us talk about this before, but it's a great way to explain. So essentially, if you have a flower garden and it's really healthy and you're really proud of it and you look after it, and one day your plants start to die, so you try and make them happy again by giving them water and fertilizer and everything you think a plant needs to be healthy, but it just gets worse. So you look at the plants and realize that there's actually parasites on them and they're eating all that water and fertilizer and nutrients that the plant needs to be healthy. So it's the same, like, you know, if you do have a skin problem and you're trying to give it nutrients but it's not working because you're just making the problem worse by feeding the parasite that's causing the problem in the first place. So basically with your garden, you need to stop feeding it for a little while, call in pest control, so that's what Ungex are essentially, human pest control, and kill the mites. So once the mites are gone, or once the parasites in your plants are gone, they can start regenerating. In some cases you might need to give them some extra fertilizer and water to give them that extra boost, but without getting rid of those parasites, those plants, it's really rare that they'll come back. So that's, I hope, I'm not a great storyteller, but I hope you could get the metaphor with your skin. So I'll keep looking on the microscope. I hope this is interesting. No one's asked me questions again. So the other thing, I know I'm in forums all the time, in Facebook groups. There's a lot of people that are suffering, well, that are suffering from more than just Demodex mites. People who have scabies or other parasites that they haven't been able to get rid of. And although we do focus on Demodex mites a lot because it's really something that like there's just not nearly enough education on. Ungex products will kill more than just Demodex mites. There's another one there. So this is a male. He's not very active, so I don't know if he'll be very entertaining for us. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, so this is like a nymph, or like a teenage mite, essentially. So see, it only has 3 legs. I'll see if I can zoom up for you. So it only has 3 legs. The mouth's here, body's here. It's not super interesting to look at, but it proves that the customer has all life cycles going on. So it's a male because it's quite like semi-transparent, I guess, and not as full as the female. So what I was saying before that, I'm going to keep looking, was Ungex products will kill really any insect or parasite that it comes into contact with. So things like head lice, fleas, ticks. Oh, here we go. So this customer has a lot of mites. Ticks, scabies, bird mites, any kind of insect, even if you spray it on something, a big one like a cockroach, or a fly, or mosquitoes will stay away from you. I actually was in Bali recently, which is in Indonesia for those who don't know, and I took a bottle of our Pro Demodex treatment as mosquito repellent because it's in the tropics, and it was very successful. They didn't come near us at all. But yeah, anyone who is suffering from parasites, our products are really great. They're all natural, herbal based. They take care of mites on a number of levels, so making your body a hostile environment, protecting your skin, killing mites directly, and it not only takes care of your skin but also in your home. So we've got a protocol for things like pillowcases, towels, anything that touches your skin regularly, because these guys can live off you for up to 52 hours in a good environment. So if I come in here tomorrow, just say like 12 or 24 hours, these guys will probably still be alive because they're in a nice oily environment. So you can imagine things like pillowcases and towels, cross transfer is an issue, and it's really important. So we've got the products, which I'll just take away from this mite for a second. So these are the 4 main products we use to treat mites. They may not look like much, but they're really amazing. They're all our own formulas and made in Australia. So it's not just the products that do it, it's also the protocol, which is the correct when, why, how much, where, all of the ingredients to get the good result, basically. So it does take a minimum of 3 months to eradicate these guys. Look, sometimes it does take longer because maybe you have a higher population of mites to get rid of, or your skin's a little bit sensitive, so we have to go slower. but it's a minimum of 3 months to get rid of all of the generations from under the skin. But we're with you the whole way. So our bundle 1 and bundle 2 are our best value products, because generally they last the whole 3-month process. So they include everything you need to get rid of mites. Once you have them in hand, really all you need is to communicate clearly with us, because we follow up with you throughout the whole 3 months and are here if you need like just reassurance that you're doing everything correctly. So yeah, all you need is communication, patience and commitment, and then like it's basically our guarantee that we'll get rid of Demodex. It's our main priority and it's really what we're known for. So I mean, I haven't checked this sample over fully, but I think we've had a fair look at what mites are, and I've talked for quite a long time. Oh, see, there's another one. So this this customer, usually if you find 1 or 2 mites under a test, it's a indication that there's a lot more under the skin. So this slide we've found quite a few, which indicates that there is a really high population density. As I said, she was quite young, so just because you're young, it doesn't mean that Demodex mites aren't an issue. And as much as people are repelled to think these little parasites are living under their skin, at least it's an answer to their issues. And honestly, it's a pretty easy fix once you have the products and the instructions in hand. And that's something, it's basically our main goal, to support you. So if there's no questions, I might leave it at that. But yeah, if you want to come for a test yourself, we have facilities in Melbourne, Australia, which is where I am, in Castle Hill in Sydney, Australia. We also have some dermatologists in Iran. But honestly, a test isn't necessary to diagnose Demodex mites. We can generally tell, like we ask you some questions and you tell us what's going on, and we can generally give you a pretty clear idea of what's going on. We also have an online quiz that gives you some indication of your population density, but honestly, babies to elderly can use our products. It's never too late for prevention, because it's well easy. Oh, thanks, John. Kill it. I will. I'll spray some. The customer's taken home products, so hopefully she'll kill all of them. But yeah, look, if you have skin issues, it's really worth talking to us. We have, all our staff are really informed, and we don't pressure you, obviously. We just want you to find the right answer in your own time and support you in doing that. So I need some water. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you everybody who has watched. And yeah, look, contact us. It's www.ungex.com. Our Facebook is Hair Mites. We are in Australia, but we can make calls to most international countries. If not, we'll get in touch anyway. We love to talk if you can't tell already. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.